Union states have seceded.
The United States Army ramps up activity.
The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance.
The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
Are you guys aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America?
We just try to stay out. With what we see on the news, seems like it's for the best.
Alex Garland's Civil War. All right. So, little context for this. I watched this movie as of this recording a couple of months ago. And then right after I watched it, I was going to review it right then and there. Then the election, the U.S. election, just like election day just hit, and I'm thinking, I don't whether the side you are on, I'm not gonna say anything, not gonna judge, none of that, but it felt like I didn't want to jump on that. So I was like, I don't feel the timing is right. So, and besides, this was one of those movies where I wanted to actually sit on it and think about it some more, because with Alex Garland's previous films like Ex Machina and something like Annihilation, it's like, yeah, I need to sit on these because, wow, they were just jam-packed with so much stuff that I need to just sit and decompress. So, I'm now here talking about it. Now, this is a movie, I'm just going to say this right off the bat, this is definitely a movie that is not for everybody. I'm not going to bring politics into here, not going to do any of that, but I will say that this is a film that has, and I think still kind of will, spark up a little bit of controversy. So the story of the film is it's set a little bit in the future, where California and Texas have decided to leave the American system and create their own branch of government, and now they are personally going up against the United States. So it's California and Texas, they split off, they create their own union, and now it's that union versus the U.S. government. And we follow a bunch of reporters and photographers who are basically just collecting stuff to get money or just even survive. But the crew that we follow, who is led by Kirsten Dunst, she is on her way to the White House to interview the president, who's played by Nick Offerman, on asking him, why are we declaring war? And, it's, Alex Garland has been a very, very great writer, whether it be, his films that he's done, or even written like 28 Days Later, and then you think 28 Weeks, and is just about to do 28 Years. He's a great writer. And there's a lot to impact in here. It is also a bit slow, and I liked it, but I understand why a lot of people do not like it. This is definitely not a movie for everybody, and it's also a movie that is going to rack up controversy, and has. So, and this also feels like one of those movies that if it wasn't for like A24 and Alex Garland having that relationship with him, I believe with Ex Machina, this movie, I don't think a lot of the major studios would have agreed to do this movie. Because it's very much like, this feels like, it feels almost like jumping in with the sharks a little bit, but, in some cases. It's a very ballsy movie that, you know, it has a lot of ideas and is going to spark up controversy and disappointment because it has. And the dystopian future that they depict feels very real and almost feels like a mix with like the Last of Us, where it's, you know, there's a lot of scenes of them driving, and it's a lot of just emptiness, like just empty roads, or there's like settlements off to the side where they're just minding their own business and just doing their own thing, and or something like Escape from New York, where that film, in the future, which is actually now the past, the government decides, okay, you know what, we're going to put every single criminal in Manhattan because the crime rate has risen. So we're going to block off all of Manhattan, and now that place is like just a federal prison. And it, you know, feels a little bit like that, where it's just all just like there's a lot of desertion. There's a lot of just like, you know, random stuff everywhere. And even almost something like Call of Duty, you know, with their, I think especially after their like ones where almost like, feels like a little bit of realism of something like the Black Ops series, mainly the first two. And even sometimes like some of their like stories where it's like, oh, this hasn't happened, or like, you know, this like fiction. So, and at times when you're watching, at times when I was watching this and I was thinking of Call of Duty, I'm thinking like, I think I want my controller, and because at times you're kind of like, I think I'm just watching a cutscene where I'm like, I kind of want to play this. And I think I actually did play like one of the Call of Duties after this, but also for a $50 million budget, this thing looks amazing. Like the effects are amazing. You know, it looks incredible. It reminds me a lot of something like District 9, where that movie has a lot of like sci-fi alien stuff in it, and its budget I think was like 30 or maybe $35 million, and you watch the film and you're like, wow, that's just incredible how they were able to do that with that limited amount of money. Now you may think $50 million is not a big budget, or is not a small budget, but it is definitely not a big budget compared to a lot of other films today, because a lot of films today are like double or sometimes triple that. And so Alex Garland definitely knows how to use his budget on his films, which is great. Kirsten Dunst is great in this film. I, you know, really liked her performance. Thought she was really great, really realistic. The film can be a little predictable at times, or kind of like, all right, it's another almost like point A to point B kind of thing, and all this stuff is happening while this is going on. So it feels kind of like that. Some characters do certain things. I'm like, I don't think that was a good idea. To be perfectly honest, I wouldn't do that. But the film definitely does not hold any punches when it comes to talking about violence and social commentary. And this is definitely a film where if you think you're not going to like it, avoid it, because you're probably not going to. But I do think that a lot of people should watch this, and with just no thoughts about it. Your views on certain things, I don't think should impact the film. But like I said, if you feel like you're going to hate this movie if you see the trailer, if you see like certain scenes or whatever, and you feel like you're going to hate it, then I would avoid it. You know, it, like I said, I enjoyed the film. I would give it like a great, because I enjoyed it. But I do understand, and I definitely do not fight the fact that this is not for everybody. Not everyone's going to like this. It has sparked controversy and disappointment. And, you know, I definitely will not fight on that because of what the film is. But I enjoyed it enough to give it a great. It felt like Alex Garland decided, you know what, I'm not going to do another horror film. I want to do, well, in some cases this is kind of a horror film because it's like, oh my God, this is very realistic. And I think he said after this, he's kind of taken a break from directing films. He's not done writing because he's writing the new 28 years later film. He wrote that. But he's not, I don't think he's going to direct anytime soon, and this would definitely be a movie where it's like, yeah, this can either make or break a career, but Alex Garland has a good relationship with studios and Hollywood that I think he should be fine. But, you know, I enjoyed the film. I understand why a lot of people don't, and yeah, so, you know.
You're gonna hang back.
I'm not hanging back.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go, 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 go!
God bless America.